There was a moment in my life when everything felt open, when nothing had settled yet, and the future felt wide enough to hold many versions of me at once. I wasn't standing at a real crossroads, but somewhere quieter and deeper, where choices form before words exist. I could sense that each direction carried a different weight, a different rhythm of days and nights. And for a while I believed that simply noticing them meant I wouldn't lose any of them. The road I didn't take never demanded attention or urgency. It didn't rush me or warn me that time was passing. It stayed gentle and patient, almost invisible, as if it trusted me to arrive when I was ready. And because it never pressured me, I assumed it would always be there, waiting in the same quiet way it always had. I watched life continue around me as if observation could replace participation. Other people stepped forward into choices with uncertainty written clearly on their faces, yet they moved anyway. I told myself I was being careful, that staying still meant I was protecting something fragile inside me. But deep down I was learning how easy it is to mistake hesitation for wisdom. The idea of later became a soft place to rest. Later felt thoughtful and responsible, like proof that I wasn't being reckless with my life. It allowed me to delay discomfort without admitting fear. But later is a strange promise, because it rarely asks to be honored. And slowly it stretches time until intention becomes distance without ever announcing the change. There was no moment where the road clearly ended. No sign, no locked gate, no dramatic turning point. One day I simply noticed that imagining the first step felt unfamiliar, as if my body no longer remembered how to begin. That realization carried more weight than a wrong choice ever could have, because it meant the choice had quietly moved beyond my reach. I learned that not choosing does not preserve possibility, it reshapes it. By standing still, one path beneath me hardened and became my present, while the others softened and slowly dissolved. In that quiet process, I discovered that inaction can be just as decisive as action, only slower and harder to notice while it's happening. Sometimes I imagine the version of myself who walked that road, not as a fantasy or a regretful dream, but as a real, ordinary person living somewhere parallel to me. That version isn't perfect or fulfilled in every way. They struggle too, they doubt themselves too. But their doubts are shaped by movement, not by waiting. I don't imagine that life is better. Imagine it is different. Different mornings, different rooms, different conversations that slowly shaped a different inner voice. And in that imagined life, I don't see certainty or success. I see momentum. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing you chose, even without knowing the outcome. What I feel isn't sharp regret. Something softer and more persistent, like standing near a place you once planned to visit. Knowing that even if you went now, the meaning would be different. The timing has changed, as the person arriving has changed. And some journeys only belong to the version of us who first imagined them. The road didn't disappear because it was wrong. It disappeared because time continued moving while I stayed still. I don't blame myself for that. At the time, stillness felt safer. It felt like control. Only later did I understand that safety and stillness are not always the same thing. What I lost wasn't a guaranteed future or a clear outcome. What I lost was the freedom to wonder without limits. When a question remains open, it carries possibility. But when it closes quietly, without ceremony, it leaves behind a weight that's difficult to name. Because nothing visibly broke, yet something meaningful ended. I sometimes think about how small the first step would have been, how it wouldn't have required confidence or clarity, just movement. That thought lingers, not to punish me, but to remind me how often we overestimate the courage required to begin and underestimate the cost of waiting. Still, I don't believe this story is about failure. It's about learning the shape of choice. It's about understanding that every life contains invisible paths, lives that were almost lived, words that were almost spoken. These unseen parts don't disappear completely. They remain quietly present, shaping how we understand ourselves. This letter is not an attempt to reopen the road or to mourn what never happened. It's an acknowledgement, a way of saying that the road was real, that it mattered, and that it taught me something even without being walked. Some lessons arrive not through experience, but through absence. I carry that road with me now, not as regret, but as awareness. It reminds me that time listens more closely to action than intention. That movement, even imperfect movement, keeps doors open longer than waiting ever can. And that choosing does not guarantee peace, but not choosing quietly shapes its own kind of life. As I continue forward on the road I am on, I do so more gently with myself. I understand now that fear often disguises itself as patience, and caution can look very much like wisdom from the inside. This understanding doesn't change the past, but it softens the way I carry it. The road I didn't take no longer asks anything from me, doesn't call or wait, simply exists as a quiet chapter that was never written, yet still influences the story. And maybe that's enough. Not every road is meant to be walked for it to leave its mark. This letter ends without a conclusion because life rarely offers one. There is no lesson neatly wrapped, no resolution that closes everything cleanly. There is only movement forward, shaped by what was chosen and what was left behind, and the quiet understanding that both are part of the same life.